The cool wall is back for 2026, and unlike Richard and Izzy Hammond's cool wall, I've tried to stick to the original recipe. But before we get into putting some of the latest cars onto this wall, I'm Thomas, I've had a haircut, and this is the full English cars. Right, we've got a lot of cars to get through, but we're going to start with probably the worst one in this list. It is a car. This is the new Nissan Micra. And it's based off the Renault 5 platform. And it is big. It's way bigger than the previous Nissan Micra, which just looked like a small Leaf, which I actually didn't mind the design of. However, this is slightly a little bit more controversial. It has very mean eyes. It's like squinting at you. It's like judging you, you know? I don't particularly like it. So, come on, it's just masking tape. It can't be that hard. Okay. And we'll stick it in uncool. It's not the best car, but then it's not the worst. But before we continue, I actually want to tell you how I'm going to judge this. Since I have no idea of celebrity culture or anything of the sort, I'll be judging it if I were to sit in it. Sub-Zero is I would love to sit in this. Cool is yes, I really like to sit in this. Uncool is I wouldn't really like to be in this. And seriously uncool is I wouldn't be seen dead in it. Right. Let's move on to slightly more exciting cars. Right. Let's move on to something a little bit more interesting. This is the Donkervoort P24 RS, and is the ultimate evolution for now of the Donkervoort brand, a brand built around a Dutch guy modifying caterhams so he could sell them in his home country. And now this is like really cool. It's an open top sports car, rear wheel drive, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I'm guessing. And that's just cool, isn't it? Look at it. It is a really cool, aggressive car. However, it's not Sub-Zero. He'll go on the cool part of the wall. Right, now onto more cars. This is the latest and best Toyota we've seen in the past, I don't know, whenever. It's so good, in fact, it's not even a Toyota. It is the GR GT. Well, at least for now, it's the GR GT prototype. But everyone knows that this is pretty much going to be the production car. And boy, oh boy, does it look cool. This car is just insane. It, is two-seater, mid-front engine because the engine is so far back. So basically what we've got here is a front end, which is basically just nothingness. It's pretty cool. Now, my thing is with this is a GR GT, which means will all the GR cars become GR rather than Toyota? Because they're sort of, most of the cars, apart from the GR Corolla, are pretty much built from the ground up, even the GR Yaris. So the dilemma is will this turn into its own brand, like so many other things? I know, like Toyota Crown has turned into its own brand, I'm pretty sure. So that's the question with this. However, this is a Sub-Zero car. This cannot be anything other than Sub-Zero. It cannot be. Okay. Let's have a look what we've got. Now, many of you may know that I do not really like electric cars. In fact, I don't like them at all, apart from the super sporty ones. And I think this is the ultimate super sporty electric car, at least the most famous one. This is the Rimac Nevera R, and it is the first Croatian car, as far as I know. But the main reason why I really like this is not because it's super hypercar and can drive 200 miles an hour in reverse or something, I don't know. It's because the guy who built it, Mate Rimac, is one of the coolest guys I've seen. He went out and test drove a Bugatti in the snow. Like, do you see the CEO of, like, Lamborghini or Ferrari going to test drive their super sports cars in the snow? I don't think so. And I'm not just saying that. Mate Rimac also owns Bugatti now. And it's pretty much all. You can sadly no longer call a Bugatti a Volkswagen. Which is a sort of downside, but otherwise, you got the Bugatti Tourbillon, which is super cool. However, this is his original car, or the ultimate evolution, as of now, of the original car. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's so cool, it's going in Sub-Zero. Right, there you go. Yes, this is the Bentley. It's the Bentley Continental. No, actually, isn't the Bentley Continental. Although it does look like a Bentley Continental. That's because it is based off a Bentley Continental. Because they don't have any other chassis apart from the Bentayga. Anyhow, this is the Bentley Supersports, and it's a limited run, only 500 cars to be made, and it's built to evoke the original, the sort of feel of Bentleys of old, the super big engines sort of thing. It has a massive engine, is all I can tell you, and it's unhybridized, lightweight for a modern Bentley. But I don't know. Picture's been taken a bit dark. I don't know why they did that, you know? But it is super cool. It is really cool. In my opinion. Obviously, if you think different, you can write in the comments down below, and I might consider changing it if enough people vote against it. After all, this is a democracy. Anyhow, where do you think this is going? Yeah. Sub-Zero. Okay. On to an interesting one now, and the car that I feel has been forgotten about. Very forgotten about. The Mclaren W1. It was the successor to the P1. And I'd say the looks are a little bit controversial. But not in a controversial way. If you see what I mean. It's cool, it's aggressive, but it's lacking something that the P1 had. It's just something that's not there. And that's just makes it uncool. And I'm pretty sure everyone saw that. Everyone felt that. And therefore, this car is not a Sub-Zero car. It could have been. If it had the same magic that the P1 had. The P1 was a pioneering hybrid supercar, along with the Porsche 918, the LaFerrari. And they still have the sort of magic of all the 2010s kids growing up as being the Holy Trinity. However, this is not one of those. And this came at a time when Porsche didn't make a supercar. Ferrari had the F80, which was similar to this in the way that there's something that isn't here. And I don't know what it is. Still, it's a McLaren, and it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna put it in uncool. It's not as uncool as the Nissan Micra. Right, it's still cool, but it hasn't got something. Right, onto a car that I think is very cool. In fact, so do many people. However, many people also think it's very uncool. It is, in fact, the Morgan Supersports. We've had the Bentley Supersports, now the Morgan Supersports. I'd say slightly more affordable than the Bentley. However, it still is quite expensive. Last time I checked, this was around 80,000? I don't know. But look at it. The shapes of this, they just evoke something of old. But I don't care. Look, it's the cool. It's not how good it looks. It's not how practical it is. It's not how well it drives. It's how cool it is. Yes. This is cool. Have a look at this front bit. It's just square. It's just gaping with squareness. It's cool. But then I'm biased, aren't I? I just like every car. Apart from this thing. This thing is dumb. And I only had this just to have some balance so that not everything was over here. Kind of feel bad for it now. Anyhow. The world of Restomod Porsches has been pretty saturated. However, I think that this could be one of the best ones. This is the Gunther Werks F24 Raptor or something. I don't know. But it is cool. It is cool. One thing I think they could have done is kept the pop-up headlights. But, you know, that's just a thing that I think. This wing is massive. Look, I don't know about you, but wings like that don't have just the straight bits and then the long bit there, I'm sure there's a name for them. But then you have the wing that is round or coming up. It's like on each side. It's like on the end of the wing rather than the middle of the wing. It just makes the car look better. I think that I could put a wing like those on every single car, even this, even the Nissan Micra. I could put one of those wings on every single car in the world and it would make it look cooler. That is a thing I might try at some point. Anyhow. Pretty cool. Pretty cool car. However, I don't think it goes in Sub-Zero. I don't know. However, something that I think will go in Sub-Zero is this. This is the Brabus Bodo, and it's so cool. It really is. And underneath it all is basically, it's an Aston Martin Vanquish, I think. And basically what they've done is they've removed everything that is Vanquish and put cool custom-made Brabus built things. And it's so dark, in fact, with my sunglasses on, I can't even see half of it. I can only see the top. But at least I can tell shape. It's really cool. This is the closest thing we've had to a Batmobile ever since someone last spec'd a Bugatti in black. It's so cool. It's so cool. Plus it has, like, goodness knows how much horsepower or something. Goodness knows how much horsepower. These days cars are getting out of hand with the amount of horsepower that they have. However, this is a car that I would have. No matter how much horsepower it has, I don't really care, because the only thing I'm going to do here is waft around the French Riviera at night. On to the next car. And it is perhaps quite the opposite of the Brabus Bodo, in a way. The only thing that this has in similar with the Brabus Bodo is it has four wheels, and that's about it. This car doesn't even have the same steering wheel as the Brabus Bodo. It is the Bac Mono Cup. And I think the colours of the Brabus Bodo and this are like probably the opposite on the colour scale in terms of, you know, colours. Because, I don't know for any colourblind viewers, but this is lime green. Like, not just lime green, brightest neon lime green I've seen in ages. And basically what this is a Super Cup version of the Bac Mono. And already, the Bac Mono was a pretty track-focused car, I'm not gonna lie. And basically what they've done is they've tuned it up and they've added aero that is invisible to the naked eye, it seems. And basically what they've made it is they've made it go faster. And this is a car that you do not drive to the shops. But this is a car that you would take to the Barcelona circuit and set a new lap time in. However, this is not a cool car because it is uncomfortable and just a car that is not... It is cool, but by no means is it in this realm of cool. No. There we go. There it is. Now I'm an absolute sucker for this car, or at least the original version of it. It is Bugatti F.K.P. Homage. And for me, it does not look like an AI render of a modern Bugatti Veyron, because it has been designed by real people for once. Hooray! And this is part of Bugatti's unique program of something. I can't remember the name. Basically, it is cool. And I don't care if you think chrome wheels aren't cool. Chrome wheels are very cool, even though they went out of fashion around 20 years ago, or more. But it's just so cool. And personally, I love the Bugatti Veyron. It is in my top 10 cars, and it's better than Bugatti Chiron. Because the Bugatti Chiron is overhyped, for me, in my opinion at least. Bugatti Veyron is the car, the car that did it, first man on the moon sort of thing, the first car to hit 300 kilometers an hour, first production road car to reach 300 kilometers an hour. And this is the ultimate evocation of it. Still don't know how you say that word. But basically, this won't be a record breaker. It's not designed to be a record breaker. It's designed to be what its name suggests, which is an homage. An homage to Ferdinand Piëch, the guy who originally penned this beautiful W16 engine. And the truth is this still has the W16. It has the ultimate W16. The last of the W16 before they moved to the, was it V16 in the Bugatti Tourbillon? It's just so damn cool. And personally, I would drive it. I'd obviously have the original Veyron, but I'd have this as well. However, there is a problem with that, and it's a one of one, which doesn't make it any less cool, in my opinion. Obviously, it would be nicer if they made two, and auctioned one off, and maybe, got a prize draw for, like, random people to enter, maybe. But if I'm just looking at this is a bedroom poster car. This is a car that I would have in my bedroom wall. This is a car that I would get posted of, actually. Kind of do have posters of all of these, but like a proper one. Proper cinematic poster. And they haven't lost anything to it. Sure, it has LED lights, and it's more aggressive and more refined, perhaps. And it's not as sort of happy and Passat-like as the original Veyron. But, in my opinion, it's still there. Still there. It's just so cool. By the way, this Bugatti F.K.P. Homage is based off the Mistral, the fastest open-top car, I'm pretty sure, or the ultimate version of the Mistral. And what they've done is they've basically just they've made a roofline for it, which is pretty peak engineering, in my opinion. And well, if you see it now, then it's pretty cool. Done a really good job. Then that's whole Bugatti's purpose, is to do a really good job at making a beautiful, high-performance car. Actually, no. There you go. And I'd say that's about it. But before we finish off, it is up to you to let me know where these cars should go. Because I can give you my opinion, but the public needs to make a decision. Therefore, if you want any of these changed, then put it in the comments. Also, if you might think of any suggestions on potentially putting more cars on this wall, I think I might need to get some A5 sheets instead of A4. And maybe we'll just refine it a little bit. But I think that's all for now. This was a pretty good idea.